Thank you. Okay. I was saying use the command summarize for quantitative variables. Otherwise, when the variables are not quantitative, then you have to use the command tabulate. But when you say tabulate and put two variables here, okay, let me do this. Let me first run this so that you can see the difference. Okay. This is the output for the command describe. This is the data set, which also appears here. Then the summarized aspect here, summarize the everything, the education years, the observation, the 16, whatever means, standard deviation up to end. But when it comes to independent to qualitative variables, you can see that when you say tabulate adoption and exposure, it gives you a table of the two variables. From here, adoption is from table here, adoption is it's obtained as Fumvuza adoption, but the variable name is adoption. So you can see that when it comes to output, what comes out are the labels. So when you say tabulate and put two variables, they will give you a table like this. For example, we have got a total of 18 people who have not adopted Fumvuza option, and who are both not exposed to Fumvuza and have not yet adopted it. And we've got 7 who have been exposed to Fumvuza and actually adopted Fumvuza. And in total, we've got a total of 68 people who have not adopted Fumvuza, you see. And 91 have been exposed to it. So this is the general tension up to here. Then when you write tabulate and put one variable, you can see that it will simply have one the data on the frequencies, the percentage, simply for one. No more tabulating like this one. But when you include now, say 3 variables. Let me see what happens when you include 3 variables. Say tabulate gender, education, maybe say training. And it ended. Let me say too many variables specified. So you cannot use the command tabulate for more than 2 variables. Because it will be trying to tabulate using those 3 variables to coming up with this such kind of a table with 3 variables. It's not. You need something which is 3D. I don't know how you can do that. So let's go ahead, get to file. Now let's fit the model now. Let's fit the model. Right. First, we are going to fit the logit with all those variables. So the first part, let's see. So with when you fit a logit model with everything, it will iterate from. Remember the logistic regression, as I've already mentioned, it uses the different as opposed to the linear regression models, which uses ordinary least squares. This one, the logistic model, using log likelihood, and the purpose is to maximize the log likelihood. So it will iterate until it reaches the maximum likelihood, and that will be the log likelihood of 10 here. So it is increasing. You can see from minus that one up until it no longer changes. You can see here from 4 and 5, the log likelihood is the same here. So it will now take the fifth iteration, then it takes that as the final, the maximum likelihood, log likelihood. Okay, but now because of our time, we're not going to remember. Whenever you run a model, the first thing you must do is to check for the assumptions. So the assumptions is the task for group. Which group now? Group 6. Class rep, if group 6, give them this assignment now.
Noted, sir.
Right. So group 6, this is your assumption. This is your assignment. Check for multicollinearity in this data set. You are going to check for multicollinearity in this data set. Right? So group 6, you are done. You are going to check for multicollinearity. Multicollinearity. And then group 7. Group 7, you are going to check for homoscedasticity of this data set. Okay. So let me interpret this model so that we can call it a day for now. Are we together? Okay. So let's first check the overall performance of the model. It is checked using this part here. The number of observations, there are 160, but here the log likelihood chi-square now with 9 degrees of freedom is 36. Is it significant? You can check using against the probability. And you can tell that the overall performance of all these variables is statistically significant. Why? Because there is a 0-day probability. Okay, so checking for the individual performance of this model, of these independent variables on adoption of Fumbuza, you can tell that number of education doesn't matter. You can remove this one from the model. Experience, it's again greater than 0.05. So experience, we remove it. Then which one? Only year income, yearly income is significant in the individual. Overall, the model is performing good, but individual now, all other variables except the constant and yearly income are significantly. So in other words, the Z value here for Y income of, which is the test statistic of 2.27 is statistically significant given the P value. Then the constant again is statistically significant given the P value. But when it comes to overall, they are performing good. But how good they are performing, now consider the pseudo R square here. It is 23.39%. What are we saying here? We are saying the models are explaining only 23.39% of the variability in adoption. So it means there are 77, around 77%, which is explained by some other variables different from these ones. So this is not a good model. Can you see that 23.9% is explained by this? How many variables do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 variables explaining 11.39%, and 79 is explained by any other variables. So from the look of things, looking at the pseudo R squared, I think the model is not doing good. It's not doing good. And individually, only 2 variables. In fact, 1 variable, and of course, our beta naught are doing good. The rest, let's drop them. So let's drop them now and go back to the way we have our this one. Where we only have the, let me first remove the OR first. I will explain that one later. Let me run this one. Now, these are the model. The log likelihood is now gone up. It was 60 minus 60. Now it has actually gone down. So overall, this model and this other model, this is even better. Why? Because the maximum likelihood estimate here is minus 60. Here it has gone down to minus 69. And even the pseudo R square here, it is again going down. So these two, why income is yearly income is explaining about 11.77% of the variability in adoption, but alone. So of the 23 here, which was being explained by 9 variables, 11.77% is being explained by yearly income alone. So you can tell that, you can see that yearly income is explaining much variability in Pumfuza adoption. So in a way, we are saying, for you to adopt Pumfuza, you must have a yearly income. Your money, you must have the money. As you can say, why? Well, looking at the coefficient here. So the explanation of the coefficient here is different from what we did under multiple linear regression. Remember from the formula of logistic regression, it says log of odds. The log of the odds is equal to our z, which is beta naught plus z. It now takes the multivariate case on the right hand side. So what are we saying here? A unit change in y yearly income will force will cause the log odds of Pumfuza adoption to go up by 0.00197 units. Here we're talking about the log odds. So in a way, what are we saying? We're saying when income goes up by a unit, the probability that someone adopts a Pumfuza project will go up by this magnitude. I think I have made myself clear there. In simple terms, this is what it means. The probability will go up by the probability of someone. Remember, we are saying the probability of y is equal to 1 given the xi's. That is the left hand side for this model. So that probability will go up by this magnitude. Okay, let's have a look at the results of this one. Let me do this. Let me run this model with this code so that we see. Oh, sorry, not those one. I want to write the head. I want to run this one. Okay. So that I will see the predicted values. Go. Okay. The predicted values are there. So let's go to data, the browse mode. The head is here. These are the predicted ones, but these are not probabilities. These are the let me compute the log odds. Okay. So code another model. Where is it? It is here. And let me odds ratio. OR for odds ratio. Then I run again the model. Okay. Then this one. You close this one. Okay. Now I have odds ratio. Remember, what is this odds ratio? Odds ratio is the odds ratio is equals to the odds of adopting the model over the odds of not adopting the model. So let me predict now. Oh, this time I don't. Let me put. Let's say predict. Let me say y8. Then simply y8. Then I'll run the code. The y8 variable has been generated here. It's now, you can see now, it's now the probability of our adoption. Right. So let me navigate to the browse mode. Right. Can you see that these are the probability of having? These are now the probabilities. You can see, can you see that? No number is below 0, no number is above 1. You can see. So these are the probabilities of adopting Pfumvudza. So let me check up some things here. For the first variable, for the first farmer, the first farmer have adopted Pfumvudza, right? Can you see that? Then let's go back. Let's go and see the predicted the probability. It's what 0.35. So this is a misclassification. Remember, if a probability is 0.5 and above, you round it off 2 to 1 and conclude that such a farmer have adopted a Pfumvudza project. Right. Let me check another one. This person has not adopted a Pfumvudza project. But what is the predicted value here? The third one is 0.28. Meaning to say these probability are the probability of adopting Pfumvudza. And so such a low probability then means that this person is not adopted Pfumvudza. And it goes on like that. And the fourth one, that guy is adopted and they've got a probability of 0.9. So this one, the model is predicted quite well. Right? I think I've done justice on that one. Are we together or? Yes. So I'm done with the logistic regression. And now we're waiting for the group presentation, those guys to present on how to do more linearity tests in Stata for logistic model using that data, that from the adoption data. The other group also looks at almost statistic, checking for that. Questions? And our is Eve still alive? Python, are you still alive?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Can you pave the way forward? We were supposed to end the finish. Okay. We were supposed to finish off today, but still we have to cover dynamic models as well as panel data model, the practicals. What can we do?
We can take them for all the normal slots for tomorrow at R5.
At R5.
Maybe we can just feed them tomorrow and then we finish tomorrow. Is it okay?
What are your suggestions at the class? We see 2 more concepts of articles. Those to do with panel data as well as text data. And they will still have Monday and Tuesday. But unfortunately, some of you guys will be having schedules.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, you can go ahead.
When okay, fine. How long is the okay? How much time do you think you need for what's left?
Maybe 5 hours.
5 hours.
Yeah.
Which means 2 days. Okay, how about we do it on Monday and Tuesday, and then we finish off?
The challenge with during the week is I will be using the network from my office.
Okay.
It's quite. I think it's very much bad as you have seen.
Okay.
During the weekends, I will be using cut Wi-Fi, which is perfect.
Okay.
But
it's okay. I think I will need to double check with Prof. Chere. It should be taking us through for the next weekend. If she's not available, then we can do it next weekend on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. Any other suggestions, class? Maybe to ask a question, do you all your guys attended this lecture? if everyone attended, okay, Victoria is in September. Okay, someone saying at 8 p.m. But my question still remains unanswered. I'm saying everyone attended the lectures from the weekend class. Okay. So I said that we can have some slots during this coming weekend. Because this week, network will be something else. So can you try to find some time maybe this coming weekend so that you can finish off the remaining stuff? Then come next that time for the weekend class, then maybe we do some remaining stuff maybe. I wanted to say cover one aspect of time series, then another one aspect under panel data during that weekend, this coming weekend, if possible. Then those other stuff might come around September during the weekend class time. That was my suggestion.
But if it's 5 hours left, we can just finish it off on Saturday. If we start at 9, then around 2 we are done.
Okay.
Listen, I think we need to check that position with Professor Chere first, and then we come back to Mr. to econometric.
Okay, no problem with that.
So I think I'll update you either tomorrow or on Tuesday.
Okay. So it was these guys, who do you want them to present? These other guys. We still have groups, 4 groups from the block, then 5 from, so we still have 9 groups which are yet to present. Okay. So, any other issues? I will have everything. The files, I will make them clear so we can understand. So, whenever there will be some eyes with questions, they can hit my inbox. Kindly use this one. Kindly email. For school-related issues, kindly use email. You can get my number from the class rate. Thank you. Whoever I've got a burning issue, kindly contact me there. Thank you for your time.